sister Felisa says she's obsessed with antibiotics and that she constantly misuses them. Felicia claims that Rhonda often goes to the doctor pretending to be sick just to get an antibiotic. Sometimes she forgets to take them and will remember a month later and takes the pills then. Felicia says the problem has gone completely out of hand and has sent us a video to prove it. Let's take a look.
Let's go see what Rhonda's doing.
What are you doing? Get out! Get out!
I sure have a lot of questions following that video and a lot of consequences I think Rhonda needs to be aware of. Let's see if she plans on continuing down that path she's on. On that note, let's welcome Rhonda and Felicia. Rhonda, Felicia, welcome. Rhonda, why are you here today?
I'm here today because my sister forced me to be. She thinks I'm obsessed with antibiotics, but I don't see anything wrong with it. Antibiotics are good for you. That's why the doctor gives them to you. Ain't nothing bad gonna happen to me.
Yes, it will. You're overusing and misusing antibiotics. If you use them all the time, they aren't going to work for you anymore, and you'll get sick and die.
Ladies, please, I understand your anger, but screaming is not the way to solve this. Rhonda, I have a question for you. You claim that antibiotics are good for you. Why do you say that? Do you know how they work, what they fix, and why you take them?
Yeah, I said they're good for you. They fix your sickness. Duh. You pop a few of those babies and boom, you feel better right away. Felicia, how are you gonna tell me that's bad for you?
Well, Rhonda, you're partially right. Antibiotics do help you when you're sick. However, they only work on certain types of sicknesses, like bacterial infections. Bacteria are organisms. Some are good for you and part of your normal flora. Others are bad for you. But when you get sick, it's the bad bacteria causing the sickness. Bacteria infections are different from other sicknesses like the flu. Sicknesses like the flu are caused by other tiny germs. Antibiotics essentially mean against life. So when you take them when you are sick, they prevent bacteria from growing and reproducing, allowing your body to heal. They are capable of doing this without changing any of your normal cells.
What's your point?
My point is, you aren't helping your body by any means when you take these pills, when you are not sick, or even when you have a sickness like the flu.
Well, who cares? It's not like I'm doing anything bad for my body anyway. Plus, I like taking antibiotics. They taste good.
Yes, it is. I told you about antibiotic resilience a bazillion times.
You mean antibiotic resistance?
Yeah, that.
Your sister is absolutely right. Do you know what antibiotic resistance is?
No.
Antibiotic resistance is when bad bacteria in your body aren't affected by antibiotics anymore, which won't allow you to heal. This usually happens because the bacteria change in a way that doesn't allow the antibiotics to kill them.
And why should I care about all this? When I'm sick, antibiotics work just fine on me. I pop those babies and I feel better the next day.
They work good now, but they won't for long if you continue down the path you are on now. Today in the audience, we have a special guest who is an expert in this topic, Dr. Vergara. Dr. Vergara, as an expert in this topic of antibiotics and antibiotic resistance, do you see a problem in what this young lady is doing?
Absolutely, antibiotic resistance can occur when you misuse antibiotics. In most cases, this happens when a doctor might misdiagnose you and give you an antibiotic when you have a viral infection, which antibiotics have no effect on. Rhonda, when you're taking antibiotics when you aren't sick and you aren't taking enough of the antibiotics when you are, all of these can contribute to antibiotic resistance.
Thank you, Dr. Bagheera. Rhonda, how do you feel about what he just said to you?
So what? What should I care about antibiotic resistance for?
Well, Rhonda, there are many consequences to antibiotic resistance. Many bacteria have already become resistant to antibiotics, such as MRSA. In these situations, the infection cannot be treated properly with antibiotics currently available. This resistance can prolong and obstruct treatment. In severe circumstances, even death can occur.
That is not the only consequence. Pharmaceutical companies are shying away from making antibiotics. This is because it is so expensive to do, and within 10 years or so, there is likely another strain of bacteria that is already resistant to it.
Rude.
I didn't realize how serious this problem was for everyone. I thought Rhonda was only harming herself.
Antibiotic resistance is a huge issue that should be taken very seriously. Dr. Bagheera, do you have any suggestions on what we can all do to help this?
Absolutely. I would first like to describe where antibiotics originated from. Bacteria produce their own defense mechanisms against other harmful bacteria. This defense mechanism is the production of what we call antibiotics. These antibiotics are naturally occurring as the bacterium changes and evolves. They may change in a way that makes the antibiotic less effective. These resistant bacteria thus survive and multiply. This is known as natural selection. I will start by saying that as a patient, you should not only take antibiotics when they are prescribed by a certified medical professional. In addition to this, you must always complete the prescription, ensuring you take every pill as directed by the doctor.
Well, I guess that makes sense. But I can just call my doctor and he'll send me over antibiotics to the pharmacy right away when I tell him I'm sick.
Yes. That is why the physician must also take precautions. Antibiotics are overprescribed and sometimes given for viral infections. It is the physician's duty to ensure the patient has a bacterial infection and actually needs the antibiotics. Furthermore, the physician must make sure that they prescribe the right dosage.
What about everyone in our audience and watching at home? What can they do to prevent the spread of antibiotic resistance?
You can start by buying meat that is organic and antibiotic-free. One of the most important things you can do is to educate your friends, your family on this information. Most people, like Rhonda, are unaware of this issue.
True. I want to thank you, Dr. Bagheera.
I know this information may seem scary, but some scientists and research companies continue working to identify new antimicrobials, both natural and synthetic. I want to thank all three of you for being here today. Guests, please give a round of applause for our guest, Dr. Bagheera. Felicia, I want to thank you for taking the time to write into the show. Rhonda, I have a special place at Huevo Ranch in Texas for you. This program will help you combat your misuse of antibiotics. Are you willing to take the next step?
I think I'm ready to move on. I realize how bad antibiotic resistance can be, and I'm ready to go to the next chapter of my life. Thank you, Dr.
Wonderful, wonderful. For more information, click the link on the Dr. Phil website. Next week, we will have an episode about Charisse, who does not ever wash her hands. Thank you, and have a good night.
Oh, you cut your shrimp?